There was a noise coming from the blower. Not a small noise, the kind of noise that makes everyone stop what they are doing and look at each other. In my experience, that noise means one thing: bearing. At least, that is what I thought. I was almost right. Almost. First thing I do in any bearing investigation, I get hands on it. We isolated the machine, locked out the power, released the coupling, and I put my hand on the shaft. I rotated the shaft by hand, slowly, feeling for anything wrong. And immediately, I felt it. Not smooth, rough, like something grinding inside. I have felt this before, many times.
Like something grinding.
This bearing is damaged. I was sure. So we removed it, and I looked at it, under the light, turning it slowly, looking at every surface. The damage was there, clear as anything. But something was telling me, this is not the whole story. The damage pattern told me something. These marks, evenly spaced, same size, same depth, at every ball contact position. This is not wear. This is not overload. This is false brinelling. And false brinelling has only one cause: vibration, while the machine is standing still. So I stopped looking at the bearing, and I started looking at everything around it. The motor feet, the base plate, the foundation bolts. I touched the first bolt. It moved. I touched the second. It moved. All of them loose. That was the real problem, right there, under my hand. If I had just replaced that bearing and walked away, those loose bolts would have destroyed the new bearing. Same damage, same noise, same problem. Back in 2 weeks. Never treat the symptom. Always find the cause. That experience taught me something. You cannot diagnose what you do not understand. And most people, engineers included, have never actually looked inside a bearing. Not really. So let me show you. What is actually in there? Every part, what it does, and what it looks like when it starts to fail. Let us start at the center, the inner race. This is the ring that sits on the shaft. It rotates with the shaft. Everything that spins, spins with this. The inner surface fits tight on the shaft. We call this an interference fit. It is not loose, it is not sliding, it is pressed on, locked in place. The outer surface of the inner race has a groove, a very precise groove. This is the raceway. This is where the balls roll. The geometry of this groove is not an accident. It is calculated to support the ball at exactly the right contact angle. Get this groove wrong, and the bearing fails. Every time. Now the outer race. This is the ring on the outside. It sits in the housing. It does not move. While everything inside spins, the outer race stays completely still. It is held by the housing, by what we call a locating fit. Not as tight as the inner race, just tight enough to stay in position. The inner surface of the outer race also has a raceway groove. Same precise geometry, same critical surface finish. Together, the inner race groove and outer race groove form a channel, a perfect channel, for the balls to roll inside. Damage either groove, and that channel is destroyed. And so is the bearing. Now, the rolling elements. In a ball bearing, they are spheres, perfect spheres, to tolerances most people cannot even imagine. We are talking about millionths of a meter, that level of precision. These balls are not just round, they are perfectly round and perfectly hard. Hardened steel, through and through. They carry the load. Every rotation, every hour, every day. When a ball develops a flat spot, even a tiny flat spot, you will hear it. Every single rotation.
Rough tap.
Click, click, click. That sound is the sound of a bearing telling you it is dying.
Like something
Next,
grinding
the
inside.
cage, also called the retainer. This is the component most people never think about until it fails. The cage has one job: keep the rolling elements evenly spaced, all the way around, at all times. Think about what happens if the balls are not evenly spaced. The load is not evenly distributed. Some balls carry too much, some carry too little. The bearing runs hot, it runs rough, and eventually, it destroys itself. The cage prevents all of that with one simple idea: keep everything in its place. You already know what happens when the cage fails. I showed you in episode 1. The analox roller, the needle bearing, the cage broke, the needles scattered. 6 hours of downtime from one failed cage. And finally, the seals, or shields, depending on the bearing. This is the bearing's first line of defense against everything outside: dirt, water, metal particles, contamination of any kind. A seal makes contact with the inner race. It physically touches. Better protection, but creates slight friction. A shield does not touch. It leaves a small gap. Less friction, but less protection. You choose based on your environment. Clean, dry environment? Shield may be enough. Wet, dirty, contaminated environment? You need a seal. I have seen bearings fail in days because someone used a shielded bearing in a wet, washdown environment. The water got in, the grease washed out. Metal on metal. Failure. In days. Not years. Days. 5 components. Inner race rotates with the shaft. Outer race stays still in the housing. Rolling elements carry the load. Cage keeps everything spaced correctly. Seals or shields keep contamination out. 5 components working together in a space sometimes no bigger than your palm, at speeds sometimes exceeding 10,000 revolutions per minute, in temperatures from -40 degrees to over 200 degrees, for years, without stopping. Now, think about what I found in that blower bearing. False brinelling on the inner race, caused by vibration from loose foundation bolts. Now you know exactly which component was damaged, exactly what it looked like, and exactly why it happened. That is the difference between changing a bearing and understanding one. Now you know what is inside a bearing, and you know what each component looks like when it starts to fail. But what actually causes these failures? In my 10 years, I have seen bearing failures caused by 8 different things. Some I expected, some surprised me, and one I almost missed completely. Let me show you all 8. That is episode 3, 8 causes, coming next week. If you work on machines, or you want to understand them, you need to see that episode. Subscribe so you do not miss it. And if this video helped you, drop a comment below. Tell me, have you ever seen a bearing fail? What caused it? I read every single one. See you in episode 3.